live stream. All right, we are live and recording. I am Racin Frost with Real Estate Canva class and I guess Canva Lab, and this is
Joy Johnson.
And we are very excited to bring you our next, basically a series of classes. We have done a couple of times Canva Bulk Create. And for a lot of people, it's a lot of information. There are a lot of steps. And so we decided to break it down into individual pieces that is going to be very, very useful, not just for Bulk Create, but each of the different pieces are going to be useful for other things that you do within Canva. And so today we are going to get started with Canva Sheets. And this is a basics class. So this is, I'm going to be upfront with you. We're not going to be doing formulas. We're not going to be doing anything crazy. This is just to get you to know how to find, use, and, edit the Canva sheet so that you can be very comfortable with it, because it is the essence of Bulk Create. And if you don't have this skill, then Bulk Create in and of itself is going to be difficult. So we're going to get started with that. Go ahead, Joy. You have something to add?
I do. You could tell I was
Yeah.
trying not to interrupt you. I'm super excited about this because I think breaking bulk create down into little itty bitty pieces is going to help us really cover every element well. And that's going to tie into more skilled use of Canva for everybody in every way. So
Yes,
I'm excited about
absolutely.
it.
And if you are new to the idea of Bulk Create as real estate agents, there are a zillion ways that we can use Bulk Create. Bulk Create can be utilized for creating social media posts of all different kinds. Um, I have used it for, quote of the day. You can use it for testimonials. You can use it for, um, buyer tips, seller tips. I mean, there's an you keep going on and on forever about how to use Bulk Create. So I feel like it is an essential skill to being efficient with our time as real estate agents, where we spend less time on marketing and more time on our actual real estate business. So
And you
let's
know
get
I love
started.
it.
Yes.
Like I love it.
Like I use it all the time.
Mhm.
So let's go ahead and I'm going to share. Here we go. Oh, I'm sharing our screen. Let's see if you should be able to see now, hopefully, inside Canva. Can you all see Canva?
Mhm.
Okay, great. I have to move the bars, as you all know, into its own little fun spot, so it's not in the way. Okay, so I am here in the project Zoom. When you go into Canva, just a quick reminder, you want to make sure I am working from within the EXP account. If you have your personal account like I do, you may need to go to your accounts and make sure you're utilizing the correct account. I'm in the EXP, the enterprise account. So here, and this is the Teams account within my Pro account. So just make sure you're in the right spot. When you open up into Canva, you're going to open up into the home screen. This is where it automatically opens up. If you know you're going to be starting a design from scratch, you can start off right here. This is the home screen. You can go straight to templates and browse them, or in this case, you can create a brand new sheet. I'm not going to hit that button right now because it'll open up a blank sheet. I want to show you another way. If you're already inside, you can also go to templates here and go over to and just do sheets. Okay, here you can create a blank sheet or you can look for ones here. If you're going to be doing that, then you're going to want to select sheet. And believe it or not, there's lots of different languages in the enterprise account. I don't know if it's just Canva, but I had to search for English to find one. So you can take a look to get an idea. Like there's a bunch of social media calendars, to-do lists. Sheets can be used for well beyond bulk create. You can also use them for things like a to-do list, a checklist for a seller, a checklist for a buyer. There's all sorts of different ways that you can use it beyond just bulk create. So if you want to get an idea of that, you can check out the templates. All right, so in our case, we're going to be starting a Canvas sheet straight from new. So the way in which you would do that is you would hit this create button, or from right there, you could create sheets. But if you're anywhere else, you're not on the home screen and you want to find it, it's right here. Let's do that again. If you're anywhere in here, there's always going to be this little create button right here. You can just pop that on. I'm going to pick sheets right here, and we have the same choices. Create a new design in sheets or browse templates. Okay. So you would go ahead and select a new one or a template if you're starting with a template. And I've already created one. So what you'll notice about sheets is that it actually opens up a single Canva sheet, opens up as its own design. So if you think about Excel or Google Sheets, you have those tabs below. Well, in Canva Sheets, those tabs would actually be just a new design. Okay. And the cool thing about doing it inside Canva, because this is made for designers, is that you can include, let's say you are doing a social media campaign or a social media planner, you can actually have all of the social media posts attached. You'll see here this back to school and a half here in the same design as your Canva sheet. So all your resources are together, which I think is phenomenal. So we're going to get started here. Those are some of the similarities. There's no tabs along the bottom. It just keeps on scrolling forever. You've got your pages, which are new tabs or new Excel sheets or designs, however you want to use it. You have rows, just like you can select them here by selecting the number. And you have your columns that are A, B, C, D. Okay. Now, if you want to select the entire sheet, you do so by selecting this little dot right here. I do think it's kind of cool. It tells you how many are filled over here out of whenever you select the whole sheet, just the row. There's nothing filled, so nothing pops up. Or it'll show you how many are filled in this column. All right. So you can also select multiple sheets, just like multiple cells, just like you can in Google Sheets or Excel, where you've got the cell right here. You hold the shift bar and you go to wherever you want to select it. Now, this is going to be a little, I want to say, not intuitive, because for Canva, a lot of times when you want to, select something or you want to make things bigger, you use this little star corner, this little boxed corner. Don't drag this. Dragging this is just like in Excel or in Google Sheets. If you drag that, it actually is a copy feature. So what I mean by that is if I'm here, I've selected this cell and I drag this box to the right, just like the other Excel or Google Sheets, it's going to copy. Okay, so you don't want to use that to try and select cells. It will mess things up. Okay. So really what I cover here is the importance of this first row, which it's basically your header row. And especially if you're going to be creating this for bulk create, you absolutely need to have a header row. The importance of having a header row is because when you connect your sheet to your actual design, you're going to have to select your columns and rows, the columns that are associated with your design. And it's the easiest way to do it is going to be if you have a header. So and I'll show you in the next sheet in just a second, if you have a header that describes what that column is, what the data is that you're going to be connecting to bulk create. So this first row is going to be your header row, even though it doesn't say header, and you are going to want to put that in, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. So for formatting, similarities between Google Sheets and Excel are very similar, except I think it's a little bit easier because you can go ahead and do things like bold, right? It's exactly what Canva is. You can change your font to different fonts if you want to. You can change the color. It's exactly what you can do in your design style. Oh, that was the color of the cell. Let me go back and fix that. Sheet colors tells you here, sheet colors, not the text color. Text colors over here. All right.
This is what I like about it. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I didn't interrupt you, but I
go for
love
it.
that it's kind of, it took me a minute because I was so used to using Google Sheets and Excel. So some things took me a minute, but once I just realized it works like Canva,
Mhm.
it really made it so
Yeah.
much easier. So I'm
It,
glad you're talking about that. Thank you.
and I do think, I think I spelled formatting wrong. I do think that doesn't have two T's. I don't know now. I can't decide. But I do think that it's a lot easier, like more intuitive to use than I think Excel or Google Sheets in that thing. You
Yeah.
also can do formatting of the cells or the row or the column in the same way that you can with Google Sheets. Again, I think they make it a lot easier in Excel. So if you want to do numbers, you can make it tell it whether it's a text, it's a number, a percentage, currency, date, and there's lots more formats. You can apparently look at all these currency formats, date formats. So, I think they just you can change the decimals right here. So rather than having to go like select the cell, then go into the cell and then the
Right.
format, and they're like, there's just less steps. They just put the ones that people use the most often right at the top, which I think is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're going to go over in detail all the different pieces, except for like the basic formatting, that you can do in any of the Canva sheets. We've already covered that. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go to my next sheet that I've done here and show you an example of, if we're talking about bulk create, of different things that you might want to put for your header row. So in creating the header row, we've got topic, hook, caption, image idea, an actual image. One of the things that I really love is how easy it is to add images and other pieces to this compared to, again, compared to Google Sheets or Excel. Call to action, a link to the actual asset when it's done, and you can put a status, and we'll go through. This is just an example. You could put whatever you want for your headers or the type of template that you're creating. But this is what a header row is. And I went ahead and bolded it, made it larger. So it's very obvious to me this is a header row, and I'm not going to be, messing with this. And just a couple ideas of what type of information that could be put in it. Okay. So we've already talked about formatting. You can do the same thing with entire rows or columns that you can do. See, there's the whole row. If I wanted to do the whole column, you can, as you can with individual cells, texts, and colors. But one of the things that I like, as you see here, is that you can still drag and drop images and elements. So let's say rather than images, I was going to have a post or something that had a particular graphic in it. Could be my logo, it could be something else, but let's just say in this case, I searched for repairs for that one. You can, just like in Canva, you can drag and you can drop it right into that cell, which I think is a phenomenal feature. Again, very intuitive, very user-friendly. And if you make the cell, automatic, you do not make it larger that way. If you touch the image and use this little circle, not a square, you can make it larger. So if you need to be able to actually see it, you can make that larger just by that. But make sure you're not using the square. Make sure it's the little circle for size dragging. Because if you do this, again, it will copy. To delete, by the way, all I'm doing is selecting it and hitting the delete button on my computer, just like you would on Canva. Okay. Then the other thing that they have done, and this is actually kind of cool, I think, because they've written AI into this, and we are going to cover in our next section all about Canva AI. But if you select this little section up here that says quick actions, you can do a number of different things. If you have data in here, it will generate a table. You can make it into a chart. This is obviously text, not data. Text for a social media post, bulk create, which is different, but you can use Google Sheets, Canva Sheets for other things like creating charts, creating diagrams, and it can help you do that. It has bulk create. We'll talk about this, a few classes in about how to actually get to your design. But what I really like are if you go farther down to the actions, you can apply brand voice. So if you had, say, you put all these different things in here and you wanted, maybe you were copying someone else's template and you wanted to actually apply your brand voice, you could select a column or a row or the entire sheet, and you could go to actions and you could tell it to apply your brand voice. Okay, now you have to have filled out your brand kit appropriately in order to do that. The other thing is they have the ability to do these things, which are quick actions. Again, they make it really simple. You can add a formula. You can create a drop down. So like over here, if you did want to have a status thing here, you could do action. You could do drop down. They give you some automatic ones like yes, no, high, medium, low, status, not set, done, in progress. You could just pick one of these if it fits for what you're doing, or you can create the drop down. And if you do that, it automatically starts. You can add a new option. So we have draft because it took my word that was already there and gave that as option 1. I'm making stuff up here. But what happens is you'll see you can then do this, and you can also change the color so that if you wanted it to be draft is gray, editing is purple. So if you're a visual person who likes to see color changes, you can do that. Okay. A lot of people
I need the color.
Yeah, a lot of people will use this if you are using this to create something for if they have different pillars like pillar 1, pillar 2, pillar 3, educational, testimonial, right? Whatever your different pillars are, you can use it that way as well. So that's one of the cool things. Then you also you can put in your different dates. You can insert the check boxes or a link. And specifically, so any link at all, any website link, like if you want to put in the link to your website, let's say that's something that you wanted to have on, like instead of status, let's say we wanted to do contact information, right, on your social media post. And you wanted it to include I'm going to delete this. And then you have to delete the actual thing itself. So you have to delete it twice. But let's say I'm going to put in your website. You would go and you would select actions, link, and you could enter the link right here, your website. So realestatecanvalab.com. And there it is. And so you could put a whole set of contact information there. And the other thing that you can do is you can actually insert, let's say here in the asset list, I had already done something. In fact, the post was going to be a holiday post. I could go ahead and hit Canva design. I love this Memorial Day post. And boom, just like that, in my sheet with my assets, I have the Memorial Day post that I want to use for this. This is a holiday. You could add some words or stuff or just leave it as holiday and the hook and caption blank because I've already designed something that has everything on it. Okay. So I think those are really phenomenal pieces of it. The other thing is, look at all these things you can do. Okay, we've covered how to create a new Canvas sheet. One of the things, again, super intuitive, super easy, is if you're going to add just a single row or column, see this little plus sign here? That literally is all that you need to do, is wherever the plus sign is, I can add a column just like that. I think that is so intuitive and so easy. I'm going to show you how to delete it too. Select the column, delete column, right? So again, I feel like select it. For me, it's a right click. And you just delete it. Okay. If you want to add or delete multiple rows, same thing. You hit the shift, select multiple rows. Then I click and I get delete 3 rows. Or I could add 3 rows above, add 3 rows below. Okay. So I feel like it's a lot more intuitive than Excel and Google Sheets from how to do that as well. The other thing that's pretty awesome is because this is a designer feature. Sometimes I want to do more in a cell than just have a single line of text. And I
Mhm.
feel like in Google Sheets or Excel, it's a lot more complicated, but look how easy this is. Do you see how I have these bullets in here? All I did was select it. And over here where it says list, now it's numbers. Now we're back to normal. Bullets,
Mhm.
numbers, normal. So I can do this within a cell. And let me go back. And inside of it, all I do is, oops, hit tab, just like you would in Canva when you're organizing your bulletlets. I'm just hitting tab, just like that. And then if you want to add a line, you hold the shift key down and hit return. There you go. Just like that.
And I
So
think Rima had a question. I'm so sorry.
that's okay. Can we
Go
hold
ahead.
it just for a second? I want to get finished getting through these.
You
So give
just
me 2 more
answered it.
minutes. Oh, good. Perfect. See, there we go. So then the other thing that's really cool is it's the same thing. These features up here that we didn't talk about for formatting before either. You have your alignment, which is left aligned, center aligned, right aligned. And then you also, this is one of my favorite things. Okay. This is what I do for everything. I do this for the entire, you can do it for the entire sheet, but just so you can see the difference. Mini buyers focus. Well, you can't see the rest of the text. You can see it up here. So when you click on the cell, double click it. So single click, this is also where you can do some editing. And when you double click either up here up top or double click on it, it opens all the way up so you can see it again. I think the double click, it makes it more user friendly. You can see the whole line of what you're working on because it's hidden by the next cell.
Mhm.
So one of the features that I love is this little thing right here, which is called text wrapping. And they made it really simple for you here. You just select it and it will do this feature. So it keeps the cell width, but then changes the actual text to fill in with the width of the column, which I love. You can also manually, just like in the other sheet options, if you select the row between 2 columns or between 2 rows and you double click, it will automatically adjust to the width of the text in the cells.
Oh,
Okay.
that's nice. And I do use text wrap a lot in other spreadsheets because
Mm-hmm.
I need to see the words there and I
Yes.
don't like them blocking things. But the
Yes.
way that it works in Canva is just so intuitive and you see that little, wrap arrow. You don't have to go search for it or anything.
Yes, yes.
I think,
And
yeah,
um,
nice.
the other thing about it is that just to clarify here, this button is actually for a cell. So let's say that you're creating your social media posts and you want your hook is your caption is going to have multiple steps in it for everything. You can actually hit everything in the caption if you select the entire row and you hit list, it's
Mhm.
going to do it. Now notice it's not row. The first row is number 1, the second row is number 2. Everything gets 1 because the list feature is for individual cells.
Okay.
Okay, so I did want to make sure everybody was aware that that is for cells only. It is not for, so everything, if you select a row, everything in the row is going to get the bullet or it's going
Mhm.
to get the automatic list within the cell. So everything will get a number 1. Okay.
So be careful that you're not activating a row or a column when you tell it to do things.
Yes, unless you want
Unless that's
everything
what you
in
want.
it
Yeah.
to have a bullet or everything in that row to have, right, exactly.
Right. That's a good
Exactly.
point.
Um, and then the other thing, copying and pasting, really simple. I've already showed you that if you select the square box, it will copy whatever you have, however many rows over. That makes it really easy if you're duplicating, like let's say you do a contact information like we had on the first one, and you just want to copy it down. I'll go back and show that. If this is the contact information that you want to be present, you can copy it to all the rows just like that. You can also do everything that you can do in Canva. If I right click, you see you've got copy, you've got paste. Insert will get you to the same things that actions got you to, which that
Mhm.
were the ones that I liked here. not the AI stuff, but the stuff at the bottom of the list so you don't have to scroll to the bottom if you don't want to. So I'm going to delete all those. Okay. And then the other thing that's really intuitive that I love is moving columns or rows. So like, let's say you want to put these in a particular order and you're like, no, wait, back to school has to be the first thing because our school starts next week. All I have to do is right click and look what it says, move one row up. Boom. More, move one row up. Now it's at the top. You can also drag. It's the drag and drop feature in Canva is something that I think is phenomenal. I just think it's so easy. Okay. The last thing I want to do, because it's a little bit different, is sorting. We talked about links and Canva designs already, but sorting by a column. So if you hit the filter feature, it's going to select the entire thing. And these little purple lined buttons pop up. So this filter it's a quick, it says most people are going to filter by column or row header, the row headers by columns. And so they basically just made it intuitive for you. They put these little things here and I could go sort A to Z, sort Z to A. Or let's say I want to do it by caption, sort A to Z. Or if you have a date, if you put in different dates, right? Like your holidays, if you have a bunch of things and you've got some holidays with specific dates that you know you want posted. If I had a date row, it could do it by date. You can also, just like everything else, and it tells you, do you see this? It tells you what the keyboard keys are to undo, or you can just hit the undo button because I don't actually want it filtered by. Did I go back far enough? I can't tell. I think
There
so.
you go.
Okay. All right. So the filter does work a little more intuitive, but yet also easy. They make it easy to do it by you just select the actual column that you want it to. Yep. And then the other thing is, as I mentioned, if you want to create a design like this, I want to show you if you're in a design anywhere, if you're on a page and you're like, I want this asset to be inside my bulk creator, I want it to be inside my social media planner, whatever you're creating, or even a link for something, all you have to do is on it, right click, and it says copy link to this page. So I'm going to copy the link to this page. I'm going to go back to my template. This is obviously not the correct asset. We'll put it right here. Let me delete this one. Got to delete it twice. Okay. And now I'm just going to now I'm just going to Command V. I'm going to paste. I pasted the link. I have the actual link here, or if I want to do it by what we've been learning, insert Canva design. I can find it, or I can put the link in. And one of the cool things is you can choose whether you want a thumbnail, a title, or the actual link. I like the title just so that way it kind of pops up that it's a Canva. Then if I click on that right here on the actual link, it takes me straight to my thing that I just posted. So I really like that aspect as well, because I think that it is very useful. Copy link to this page. Go back to it. I'm going to actually just paste the actual link because that's what I like. And then if I click on it, sharing this goes straight to the page. Okay.
What I like about Sheets is, to me, that's very, we're working in a visual medium when we're working with Canva, and I think the Sheets is more visual. Sheets is more visually oriented.
Yes.
Which is why it took a minute to think that way after doing other spreadsheets. But I think for, doing something visual, the Sheets really helps connect that and keeps your brain in the visual angle.
I agree 100% with what you just said, that if you're used to Excel or the more, or Google, even Google Sheets, some of the more data ones, then there was an adjustment period. But if you've also always been kind of scared or nervous or frustrated with utilizing the other sheets, try Canva Sheets because it's so much easier. And then, yes, it is definitely time for questions. If you have a question, I'm going to stop sharing for a second. And or at least go to your faces where I can see them. I guess I'm still, am I still sharing? I can't tell. It's not,
You are.
I think so.
it's just showing me your faces. It's not even showing my screen. Who knows? Okay, Rima,
Okay.
what's your question?
So I am curious about, getting fancy here. And have you tried to use a sheet like this and do an automation with AI that now that you've got all your social posts lined out, have you tried to somehow get AI to pull from the sheet and post automatically for you?
I have not done anything that
Feels
in
like
that
there
direction.
should be a way
I
to
do
do
know,
that.
yeah. So, and I think what you're looking for, like, there's a bunch of stuff related to Canva and I'm gonna blank on the name. It's not an app.
Claude.
It's not just, yeah, Claude,
Yeah,
but
well,
also
but co-work and
there's a I'm blanking on what it's called. It's not AI code.
an
It's
AI
called,
agent.
Open
nope,
AI?
Yeah.
nope.
Okay.
There's a name for a connection, an AI connection between different things, and I'm blanking on what
Mm-hmm.
it's called right now. But no, I do know
Zap?
that you can. I do
Okay.
know that you can create an Excel sheet that is tied to something else. Let's say if you have something that you update regular, like prices for the Northwest region or something like that, and you want to be able to go in and create that, update that sheet, and then have Canva in its sheet automatically be updated so you can create new posts. I know that there is that capability. That is something we might cover on the more advanced section. So what you're going to get through the next 10 series, we're going to start with individual pieces to build up to utilizing bulk create. Then after our basic bulk creation, we'll start doing some of the more advanced features. But yes, if you're, I think that I do recommend, we do have another awesome class that is taught by a colleague that is Tech Tuesday. And I do think that it might be worth some of these questions that are coming up in our class might be better presented there. Like if they could have a Claude person, maybe you can find out if they can have a Claude person come in and teach a class on Claude and Canva, right? The connections from the Claude side. Because that's what you're talking about. You're talking about it. That's from the Claude side, not from the Canva side.
Yeah.
They're interconnected.
The LLMs. I have not on Claude yet.
I
I
think
Not
to
yet.
have that automatically work would be something I would look at, having a connector, and you can add, Claude can manage your Canva and do things for you. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
a lot of mixed feelings and thoughts about doing all
But
that.
this is more, this class is more about utilizing Canva, not necessarily the extensive connections between AI outside.
Mm-hmm.
So
was just curious because it looked primed and ready for one. So
it probably is there. It probably exists.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any other basic questions about Canva sheets?
that was great. Thank you very much.
You're very
I thought
welcome.
that was a great overview. Thank you, Rayson.
And
Really, really helpful.
next week, we will be covering Canva AI in Google Sheets. Okay.
So AI, but Canva's native AI. And we're going to break it. We're really going to break it down. What can be done, how it works.
Yeah. Awesome.
Fantastic.